oddly enough, not the first time that I've seen a president throw a tantrum during a press conference. America, Brave New World released this past weekend in 2025 and is directed by Julius Onah, who's also directed such films like The Girls in Trouble and The Cloverfield Paradox. And this film is starring Anthony Mackie, Danny Ramirez, Carl Lumbly, and Harrison Ford. Sam Wilson is the brand new Captain America and has been summoned to the White House to meet with the new President Thunderbolt Ross to talk with Sam about reassembling the Avengers. However, after an attempt on the president's life has failed, everything starts crumbling down around Sam as he starts going down the rabbit hole of a conspiracy behind the president and other world leaders, all scrambling to have a stake in the material that the new celestial island is producing, a mineral called adamantium. There it is, our first official mention of adamantium here in the MCU, the established 616 version of the MCU, not the multiple multiverse Earths of the MCU. See, this whole multiverse saga, I've been saying this since day one, it's going to get convoluted and things are going to get watered down, and we're going to have aspects of the MCU, especially the projects that are coming out, to where we're like, oh, well, that's cool and all, but because it's a multiverse, I don't care because it's not the main verse that we're supposed to be following. So it's nice to have a film that is fully set in the sacred timeline, I guess is the terminology that we're trying to use here. It's nice to have a film that is set on that timeline that doesn't deal with the whole bunch of multiverse crap. We are just focusing on just the solid story of Sam Wilson becoming Captain America and establishing himself in that role. And I think he is a great part of this movie. This is a great jumping off point for him in establishing himself as, yes, I am the new Captain America. I am not Captain America Sam Wilson. I am just the new Captain America. Because we still had that talk, right, from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's like, okay, yeah, he's Captain America, but he's Captain America adjacent. He hasn't really earned that yet, at least in the eyes of the public in this universe. And here, I definitely think he does. When you look at Sam in this film and what he goes through and the confidence and hell, even the shaking of his confidence that he has in this movie, the way he pulls himself back up and he keeps going and keeps moving forward, I mean, that's the essence of Captain America that everyone is looking for in this universe, and it's definitely something that we get in this movie. But definitely the best part of this film that I had a great time with seeing on screen is the performance of Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is known, especially in his elderly years here, he's 82 years old, he tends to phone in a lot of roles, like, oh, this is a nice little paycheck here, this is a nice little paycheck there. Yes, I think he does try with his last attempt at Indiana Jones, which is a film that actually personally I enjoyed. I know the majority of people out there didn't like that movie for some reason, but I liked it. So if you're hesitant about Harrison Ford in this movie, please know that he does show up to work, and he is, I think he's the best part of this movie. There were a lot of instances with him trying to rekindle his relationship with his daughter, who we haven't seen since The Incredible Hulk, which came out in 2008, almost 20 years ago. And that whole storyline is actually kind of hitting close to heart for me. That's kind of happening to me in the role of Betty Ross in my real life, so just watching that on screen, I'm like, huh, wow, that's kind of perfect timing. But I think he does a great job and gives a great performance in this film. Now, for those of you that don't know, this film did go through a lot of rewrites and reshoots and basically taking the script and blowing up an entire section of it. When I say section, I mean like basically half. I know it was supposed to feature the Serpent Society way more, and we were supposed to have performances from Seth Rollins from the WWE, who I know and is one of my favorites. And in this movie, he's completely cut. He didn't make it into the final cut of this film, and there are points in here where you can tell that we were going down a certain storyline, but then something was cut or rewritten, and we interjected that in here. So we have scenes where it looks like everything is flowing along, everything has the same cinematography and lighting choices, and then you can kind of always tell when that rewrite happens and a certain character comes in and just kind of puts a little button on that scene a little earlier than I think it would have in the original cut of this film. So unfortunately, it does have those Frankenstein-y aspects, but personally, I don't let those bother me. I think that the story of this film is quite solid. I think the performances in here are quite solid. The action scenes are definitely solid. The whole fight scene between America and Japan over Celestial Island, over Adamantium, and we have Captain America and Falcon flying over, trying to avoid any catastrophes. I think that whole sequence was really cool. And it's not a spoiler because they plastered it on all the posters and it's in the trailer that Red Hulk does show up in this movie, and I think the sequence that we get from him, though I guess a little tiny spoiler, quite brief from the amount of advertising that they were focusing on him. Still, though, that fight scene I think is pretty cool. There is a part of me that wishes they would have just kept that part hidden. Of course, I don't know how you could have kept that hidden from anyone, but I think it would have made way more of an impact if they would have kept that whole climax and the Red Hulk section just quiet and didn't advertise it at all. But I kind of feel the same way about what they did with the Hulk for Thor Ragnarok, and Hulk was on all the posters and advertisements for that film. How cool would it have been if they would have just kept that part hidden and kept it secret for all of the trailers and all the promotional material, and then you go in to see that movie and all of a sudden the Hulk shows up in World War Hulk and in his gladiator attire. It would have been so much cooler. Same thing goes for the Red Hulk in this movie. Like I said, I do enjoy that this film doesn't rely on the multiverse and it's getting convoluted with all the multi-universes out there and versions of superheroes out there. We're not getting bogged down by any of that. It's a script that stays grounded, it stays focused, and I guess I really appreciate it. I don't understand all of the, critical hate that this film is getting. I know it doesn't have a great score on Rotten Tomatoes, even though Rotten Tomatoes is not the best website to go off of, in my opinion, because I truly, truly enjoyed this film. I actually love it better than Captain America Civil War. I know I'm in the minority in saying that I'm not a big fan of Civil War, but I do appreciate the MCU trying to go back to a more grounded Captain America film like we got in Winter Soldier. Are the conspiracies and all of the political intrigue, espionage, is it as developed and as gut-wrenching as it was in Winter Soldier with this movie? No, I know it tries to. It does have a little bit of social commentary on the political climate and how politics in this country are right now, which I do appreciate, but it's definitely not as impactful as Winter Soldier. But you know what? It doesn't have to be. It just has to be good enough for what this movie is. And I had a good time. So for those people out there who go off of Rotten Tomatoes, and whether you're on the fence with the MCU right now, just know, for me, I love the MCU, I enjoy all of the projects. I'm not shy of my criticism for what they've done for the last couple of years. So if you're listening, or if my opinion holds any value with you, just know that I did enjoy this film a lot. And I think if you allow yourself to go in with an open mind and sit back and relax and just enjoy a film and not get bogged down by Rotten Tomatoes or how this film fits into the whole grand multiverse and Loki the god of stories and the what-if scenarios, if you just go in wanting to have a nice political intrigue thriller action movie, then this is the movie for you. I'm going to give Captain America Brave New World 3.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I am above average.
So guys, if you've seen Captain America Brave New World, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.